3TG minerals. The American Dodd-Frank Act regulates the declarations of 4 conflict minerals called 3TGs, namely tin, tantalum, tungsten, and gold, from mines in the Democratic Republic of the Congo, DRC. In the European Union, a similar law is also in force, Regulation 2017-821, laying down supply chain due diligence obligations for union importers of tin, tantalum and tungsten, their ores and gold originating from conflict-affected and high-risk areas. What are the conflict minerals? Conflict minerals are tin, tantalum, tungsten and gold. The literature commonly uses this acronym to identify these minerals, 3TGs. The 3TGs conflict minerals originate from areas of conflict such as in the Democratic Republic of the Congo, DRC, or its neighboring covered countries: Angola, Burundi, Central African Republic, Republic of the Congo, Rwanda, South Sudan, Tanzania, Uganda, and Zambia. More specifically, mines in the provinces of Kivu in eastern DRC have a high risk of being under terrorist control. The use of 3TGs. Tin. Many applications require this mineral, like solder. Tantalum. Electronic components like capacitors contain tantalum. Tungsten or wolfram is also utilized in electronics, electrical equipment and alloys. Gold is another mineral employed in electronics, in circuit boards for example. Gold is also present in jewelry, money, medicine and cuisine. Cobalt and mica conflict minerals. Currently, the in-force legislation only addresses the origin of 3TGs. However, other minerals raise similar conflict concerns such as cobalt and mica, and electrical and electronic equipment requires both cobalt and mica. Cobalt is massively used in batteries, while mica is present in a wide range of products and applications such as plastics, insulations, capacitors, magnets and paints. What about rare earth elements? Rare earth elements are mainly the 15 lanthanides in the periodic table. Many strategic activities require rare earth elements, including in the electronics, automotive, aerospace and military industries. China benefits from a quasi-monopoly of some rare earth elements. On top of bringing strategic and political concerns, the extraction of rare earth elements also reveals one of the most polluting. As of today, no specific legislation about the rare earth elements' origins is in place. What are the conflict minerals reporting template obligations? Since March 31, 2014, a company listed on Wall Street must annually declare the origin of these minerals when used in its production and per the SEC, Securities and Exchange Commission. Among other things, in-scope companies must declare whether their products contain any of the 3TGs. They have established a responsible minerals sourcing policy, and all of the smelters in the supply chain have provided sourcing information. CMRT is an acronym for Conflict Minerals Reporting Template. The CMRT is a free online Excel spreadsheet. It enables communication for the origin of 3TGs in the supply chain. The industry worldwide utilizes this well-recognized template. The Conflict Minerals Reporting Template content. The most important tabs in the Excel CMRT include the Declaration tab, where the examined company gives its credentials and conflict minerals details. The Smelter List tab, where the surveyed company reports the smelters in its supply chain. The Checker tab that shows whether some information is missing. The Product List with the reference of in-scope products if applicable. The CMRT document is regularly updated. Errors are corrected, and most importantly, the list of smelter is updated. As a result, we recommend you to make sure you request the latest CMRT versions from your suppliers. The RMI behind the Conflict Minerals Reporting Template. The Responsible Minerals Initiative, RMI, is an independent not-for-profit organization that equips the industry with resources and tools for conflict-free sourcing. What the RMI does, on top of maintaining the CMRT and other activities to bring awareness, the RMI manages auditing programs of smelters. To do so, auditors follow guidelines and protocols to determine whether smelters and refiners only purchase conflict-free minerals. Who should file a conflict minerals reporting template? Impacted companies are any actors extracting or using 3TGs in the production processes, from the mines to the manufacturers of finished goods. They include local and international traders of ore, smelters and refiners, components producers and assemblers. The laws of the conflict mineral affect manufacturers of electronic products because they almost always contain at least one 3TG. No de minimis minimum threshold can be exempt from the reporting obligation. Directly impacted companies. If your organization is one of the approximately 6,000 public U.S. companies governed by the rules of the SEC, or if you are a supplier such company, you may be audited and receive a CMRT inquiry. All sectors are in scope, including the medical or the defense industries. Even if you don't deal directly with a U.S. public company, you may be somewhere in its supply chain. If this is the case, then you would still have to report the origin of the 3TGs contained in your products and contribute to the research effort for commercial reasons. Why are there conflict minerals regulations? The situation around conflict minerals in the DRC. The Democratic Republic of the Congo, DRC, is a former Belgian colony and was a possession of King Leopold II of Belgium from 1885, with the Berlin Conference, until 1908. The DRC became independent on June 30, 1960. The Congo was called Zaire from 1971 to 1997 until the overthrow of Marshal Mobutu during the so-called First Congo War. A rebel coalition, the AFDL, Alliance des Forces Démocratiques pour la Libération du Congo, Alliance of Democratic Forces for the Liberation of Congo, led by Laurent Désiré Kabila, overthrew Mobutu. A second Congo War followed from 1998 to 2002. During this war, rebel groups took control of parts of the country and killed Laurent Désiré Kabila. Then his son, Joseph Kabila, took power. As of 2003, a democratic transition has begun. A new constitution was voted in 2005. Joseph Kabila was re-elected in 2011. However, after a political crisis and a surge in violence, Félix Tshisekedi is elected president in 2018. The east of the country remains troubled by armed gangs, dissidents and deserters. Approximately 8 million people have been killed since 1994. Millions have been displaced. Rebels have been responsible for a form of genocide and planned rapes. Rebels have exploited child soldiers and orphans in massive human trafficking operations. Among other things, many of these modern slaves have been working in mines under the control of rebels. Other conflict-affected and high-risk areas, CARA, are also being identified per the EU legislation. The history of conflict minerals regulations. The USA officially decided in July 2010 to target the revenue coming from mines under the control of rebel groups. Such mines have then seen their market access obstructed. Conflict minerals regulations started in the USA during the Obama administration, and the following governments maintained the effort. The European Union also took a similar initiative by publishing its conflict minerals regulation in 2017. The conflict minerals regulations and the OECD guidance. The US federal law named the Dodd-Frank Act gives the rules on conflict minerals in Section 1502. The decision started to apply in August 2012. Mr. Dodd and Frank are the two officials who have presented this regulation to Congress. The EU has prepared a similar conflict minerals bill, which entered into force on January 1, 2021. Nevertheless, since 2011, the Organization for Economic Cooperation and Development, OECD, has been updating the due diligence guidance for responsible supply chains of minerals from conflict-affected and high-risk areas. This guidance is not legally binding. However, its recommendations help to reduce risks with conflict minerals in supply chains. The goal of conflict minerals reporting and the audit approach. The objective of the conflict minerals legislation is to cut off the rebels' financial resources. The idea here is to find an alternative to military intervention. This is not an embargo against DRC or its neighboring countries. Smelters and refiners that purchase 3TGs or all over the world play a crucial role in the supply chain. Indeed, smelters and refiners either purchase recycled metals or new ore from mines. Therefore, auditors regularly assess these smelters and refiners to find out whether they can demonstrate that they only purchase conflict-free minerals. The cost of the conflict minerals reporting obligations. A study of 2017 by Elm Sustainability Partners estimated at $600 to $800 million the total annual cost for the industry to fulfill the Dodd-Frank Act conflict minerals reporting obligations. towards conflict-free minerals. Studies show that the number of conflict-free smelters and refiners has significantly increased over the years, which is a positive signal. However, armed groups are still active and find alternative ways of getting founds.